f of x is going to positive infinity. And for this guy, as x goes to negative infinity to the left,
X goes down.
right, because they go opposite. F of x goes down. Okay, we just said almost everyone did pretty bad on number 1. So we can just say, and then move on. Number 2 was end behavior, what we just reviewed. Number 3 was, long division, synthetic division. We did pretty good on those. Why? We've done it more recent. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Imaginary numbers was literally like 2 days ago. With I squared, a lot of you guys actually foiled it, made it I squared -1. I saw a lot of A plus BI standard forms of complex numbers. So when we're getting ready for a test, which isn't quite yet, I think it's the end of next week, when we're getting ready for a test, we need to make sure that we go back to the beginning of a chapter and study that really hard, right? Okay, just a few of you. Remember that last test grade that you're doing corrections on, it wasn't so hot. I'm just trying to make sure in your brains you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The old stuff is the rough stuff that needs the most work. The new stuff, maybe I think I have it, but I can make a lot of little mistakes. We'll see when I grade them this weekend. But section 2.5, I said the reason we had that quiz is because a lot of those things are in use now. A lot of those things are in use now or at play now. So let's review. I have this big old factoring polynomials hint page over here. And I have this big old problem over here on the left that says, okay, you have a cubic polynomial. Where's this fraction coming from? Because the fraction's over here too. And to be honest, guys, in your homework, it's going to show up really weird. It's going to say something like the rational, what do they call it? The rational zero test or rational zero theorem or something like that. I think it's the rational zero test. That's what this fraction is. Whenever they say it in homework, what is that fraction and where am I getting this stuff from? Where's 1 and 3 coming from? Factors of the end or the constant term. Good. Where's 1 and 2 coming from? Factors of the leading or the beginning, right? And then I pair them up and I say 1 over 1 plus or minus 1. 1 over 2 plus or minus 1/2. 3 over 1 plus or minus 3. 3 over 2 plus or minus 3/2. Now, could I plug in every single x and see which ones make 0? Yeah. Could I find up to 3? Yeah, because there's up to 3 zeros. Well, up to 3 real zeros. Up to 3 real zeros. What other kinds of zeros did you see yesterday that you could have besides real ones? Oh, maybe I didn't realize that. I thought we did because we had at the very beginning of your notes, wasn't there? Like find the zeros, and there were 3 different problems. Do you guys look at the bottom one? What kinds of zeros were in the third one that we did at the very beginning of the section?
Weird.
Okay, I mean, I can point to it. I thought you guys, can't you look at the beginning of your 2.5 notes, right? Very top. Do you see examples where we said find the zeros, and there were 3 different examples? Okay, we have to be able to follow verbal communication, verbal directions. Your boss is going to actually talk to you one day. You have to obey him. So look at the 3 examples. Look at the third example.
2.
There were 3 zeros. What other zeros are there besides real ones? There you go. They had eyes. Okay, we can do this. Imaginary ones, right? Okay. Wow, this is scary. What does this say as far as what zeros I'm testing for? Rational. And Zwei, what kind of numbers are rationals? Reals or imaginary? Exactly. So these are only looking for the real ones. Okay. So could we find 3? Yes. Could we just find 1? Yes. I wonder why I didn't say 2. Once we find 1, why do I have a synthetic division just waiting? Ooh, how is finding a 0 going to help me factor? Plug it in, because I know that that's going to have a remainder of 0 when I do synthetic division. And if it doesn't, then something went wrong. Either my plugging in was wrong or my synthetic is wrong. So I'm plugging in my synthetic for the purpose of, wait a minute, why is synthetic going to be so useful in this section? What is this one? Oh, what's this? Help them out. Who is this? What is this? Yeah, it's factored down by, well, didn't I just change f of x to say, hey, f of x is equal to, what does this 1 stand for? Vanessa, you asked me this during your quiz, I think. what do we know from this being in the box? What factor?
Oh, one of the factors is x minus 1.
X minus 1. Because it's always x minus whatever number is in the box. And what does this have left for me? And why am I not doing another nested synthetic? Why am I going straight to parentheses? Who is this guy? 2 x squared
Plus 5x minus 3.
What can I do with any
Factor
quadratic?
that.
Do you remember that factor?
Yes.
Hey, section 2.1, that we've been learning.
X.
Can we do the modified x with a negative 6 and a 5? And can't we do a 6 and a negative 1?
Yes.
And can't we do our star if you're like that and put the 2 on top? And see that our final factors are going to be 2x minus 1 and 1x plus 3. And we are done. Some of homework is nasty, but some of homework was, hey, most of you would have plugged in 1 the first time, seen that he worked, hopefully then realized, go do a synthetic, break it down to be a quadratic, and just do what you know how to do. If you can factor him, factor him. If you can't, stop unless they say to go looking for the imaginary zeros. They what? What? If you can't factor like this, are they necessarily imaginary? No, but you would have to go to your quadratic formula to see if they were nice, real, well, ugly, nasty, real ones, or just imaginary ones. Remember, quadratic formula can have nasty radicals in there that are real, but they can also have radicals that are imaginary. Remember yesterday we talked about what kinds of numbers are there. There are rational ones that are pretty ones where you're going to get like nice little factors. There are irrational ones. Quadratic formulas, for instance, this would have been an irrational one. That could come out of the quadratic formula, but it's still real. But then you could also have something like 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 over 2. A little quadratic formula that are imaginary. So there's a lot of different things that you guys might be looking for in homework, but you have to keep an eye to the directions and what kinds of zeros they're telling you to find. The nice ones from the little plus or minus trick, which maybe are up to 3 or 4 depending on the problem. The nasty ones, like keep going to a quadratic formula if the factorings don't work, which this one it did work, so we wouldn't have had to worry about. Or the imaginary ones, where we have to take those square roots of negative numbers and keep going. So guys, this page basically summarizes your general approach to some big nasty polynomial. Your goal, to factor it. But maybe your goal is to find the zeros of it. Depends on the question. Depends on the question as to what they're asking. Depends on the question as far as what they're asking. But our goal is to factor it and or find the zeros. What are we going to do? Well, every time I say, let's go looking for the nice ones. Because why go looking for the nasty ones? Isn't that kind of like that verse? Why should we go looking for trouble? Because it's would have trouble of its own. You guys really have to come get someone in trouble outside. Okay. So, you guys have it all written down? It's okay. I don't need to know. I just need you to write down notes. I don't mind the smile, but if we don't do our work normally, it just makes it a little rough on me when we're trying to get things. Nathaniel? Yeah. Please stop now. So, we try finding the nice zeros first. If we can plug in, sweet. Some of you might like synthetic instead. So we either do synthetic or plugging in. Once we find zeros, then we totally use synthetic to break it down. Only synthetic or long division. Division in general is what breaks down the polynomials. And breaking it down is what is necessary, is what is crucial, is what is important for us to be able to eventually get all of the factors. Now, there's this whole using calculator to narrow down. That's only for like these nasty problems they might give you about using a calculator to estimate or approximate. But guys, I want to show you an example problem they might give you, along with a hint. Now this page has been up for a while, so I'm going to move on. If you got it, cool. If not, maybe grab a picture of it in the next like 10 seconds. But there are some problems in homework where they try to give hints. The hints might get nasty, but here's a long story short. By taking the quiz today, you earn yourself an extra day on homework. But give it to the ones with the nasty hint. Give it to the ones with the nasty hint. Homework 1, 2, 6. Wait.